There's something in the silence between us that speaks the language my mouth refuses to form. I have walked through every version of wanting, and none of them prepared me for what lives in my bones. I have held myself together through the hardest kind of aching, but something in the way you stay has left my defenses breaking. There are layers underneath the ones you have witnessed, where the fear and the longing live side by side. I have spent whole seasons building quiet armor, but you reach through every layer without even trying. The weight of all I carried felt like something close to safety, until you made the carrying feel more like something fading. I surrender without words, without conditions, without walls. I surrender all the distance. I surrender to the call of every feeling I have buried, every truth I tried to hold. I surrender without words and let you into what I have never shown. This is not weakness, this is something deeper. This is the unlearning of every wall. This is the moment when the cap becomes the offer, when the long held becomes the fall. I surrender without words, without the armor, without the fear. I surrender every boundary. I surrender, you are here. In every feeling I have buried, in every truth I tried to hold, I surrender without words and finally let myself be known. The distance I feel is not measured in absence. It lives in the stillness that follows your name. There is something between remembering and releasing that holds me suspended in exquisite pain. I have turned over every version of that last moment, looking for the one where the ending makes sense. But all I find is the warmth of what we carried and the slow dissolution of every shared pretense. The space between wanting and having is wider than any I have known. The space between reaching and touching is where I am learning to go. Alone inside the wanting, alone inside the ache. The space between wanting and having is the distance I cannot escape. There is a kind of longing that becomes its own companion, that settles into the body like a second heartbeat. I have stopped expecting the feeling to diminish and started to understand why some losses feel complete. Every wave of missing carries something truthful in it, a proof that what we shared was worth the grief. But knowing something mattered does not lessen the desire. It only sharpens every edge of the relief that never comes. I am not broken by the missing. I am made more honest by the loss. I understand now what I was protecting and the cost of what I let across. There is no returning to the before of us, no undoing what the warning taught. I carry every inch of that space between us as the truest thing that loving ever brought. The space between wanting and having is no longer something I fight. The space between reaching and letting go is where I learn to find the light. Still inside the wanting, still inside the ache. But the space between wanting and having is the distance I finally embrace. kind of desire that does not announce itself. It moves beneath the surface of what is said. It colors every word and every pause between them, and makes a conversation something more than thread. I have tried to name what happens in your presence, to find the rational word for what this is. But every rational word falls short of the burning. Every logical frame misses what it is. Burning through the silence, burning through the things unsaid. Every look of fire, every word a burning thread. I am burning through the silence with a warmth that has no end. Burning through the quiet of everything I never sent. The intensity is not something I invited. It arrived like something long overdue. Like every feeling I had carefully managed, finally recognized what it was moving toward. You. This is the kind of wanting that reorders everything, that makes the ordinary feel charged with possibility, that turns simple proximity into something close to revelation, and makes restraint feel like the heaviest thing in the world to carry. I have worn the weight of this burning with something close to dignity, but dignity was never designed for this depth of need. There is a fire in the space between what I feel and what I say, and I am letting it burn. I am letting it feed, burning through the silence, burning through the walls I made. Every look of fire, every word a grenade. I am burning through the silence with a warmth that has no name. Burning through the quiet, and I will never be the same. To love with full attention is to accept the risk of sorrow. To give without reservation is to place your heart in borrowed hands. I have known the mathematics of this offering, and still I calculate the worth and give all that I am. There is a softness that survives the sharpest disappointments, that refuses to convert its warmth to armor or to stone. I carry it the way the body carries remembered comfort, long after what produced it has dissolved and moved on. What tenderness costs is everything held back. What tenderness costs is the armor you attack. It costs the comfortable distance, it costs the walls you built. What tenderness costs is the patient weight of love that will not wilt. I have paid that cost in full, and paid it more than willingly, and found the debt renewed each time I chose to care. There is no ceiling on the price of staying truly open, no final payment that removes the need to dare. And I have met the ones who counted every coin, who asked before they gave and gave less than they could. I chose a different accounting for my loving. I chose to give beyond what anyone called good. And that excess, that irresponsible extravagance of feeling has left me spent and full and aching all at once. What tenderness costs is never less than everything, and everything is still the price worth paying for your love. What tenderness costs is the willingness to bleed. What tenderness costs is trusting more than need. It costs the safe position, it costs the managed heart. What tenderness costs is surrendering to love right from the start. the certainty began to erode, before we understood that wanting was not enough to hold the shifting weight of what we had both bestowed. Before you became a memory, you were everything unnamed. I remember the quality of attention we paid each other, the particular silence that meant something shared, the way the ordinary hours became invested with meaning, because we were both fully, recklessly there. Before you became a memory, you were everything unnamed. And I do not romanticize the ending or the reasons. I carry the truth of it alongside the warmth. Both things exist inside the same sustained remembering, the beauty of the having and the grief of the lost. Nostalgia is not a clean emotion. It does not offer comfort without ache. It hands you back the warmth of what was living and makes you feel the cold of its mistake. I am not trying to retrieve what ended. I am simply honoring the weight of what was real, before the distance made you into something distant, before I taught myself to manage what I feel. So this is not a longing to return there. It is a longing to acknowledge what it meant, that something true and bright and deeply felt existed, that something more than passing feeling came and went. Before you became a memory, you were everything unnamed. Before the ending had a narrative to carry, you were the feeling before the feeling had a frame. You were the love that lived before it became a story. Before you became a memory, you were mine. The promises we made were made sincerely, and that is what makes the incompletion sting. Not the absence of intention, but the presence of everything we meant, lying unresolved between us like a debt that neither of us can fully settle now. I have tried to finish them alone, to close the openings you left behind. But promises made between two people cannot be completed by a single mind. They exist in the space of mutual commitment, and when that space collapses, so do they. Half-finished promises, sentences that stop before the period. Half-finished promises, intentions without the ceremony. Everything we swore and meant in hell is waiting in the space that we no longer share. Half-finished promises, the most expensive kind of care. I carry what we started without bitterness. I hold the half-finished as something still worth keeping. I know the limits of what trying can achieve. When two people drift past the point of meeting, some completions are not ours to make. Some promises outlive the hand that wrote them. Some intentions are too large for any ending, and too honest to pretend they were not spoken. So I carry what we started without bitterness, and hold the half-finished as something still worth keeping. The most unfinished part of loving you is the part that never had the chance of reaching. Half-finished promises, not failures I am ashamed to name. Half-finished promises still carry all the truth from which they came. Oh, everything we swore and meant and held lives in me as something I will not disavow. Half-finished promises were always more than what I knew how to allow. I have held on through the grinding seasons, through the long stretches where the forward felt like fiction. I have asked the silence more than once for reasons to continue without the comfort of conviction. And yet there is a force that keeps returning, that refuses to dissolve into the doubt. not certainty, it is something raw, something no rational argument can root out. It is not the absence of the suffering that moves me, it is what persists inside the suffering's weight. There is something worth believing in the middle of the loss. There is something worth believing after calculating every cost. Something that survives the longest dark, something the burden cannot take. There is something worth believing in the lives that we make. I have watched the people I admired most carry their losses without permission to collapse. They held their grief and held their forward motion and built something true, not despite, but because. This is not a claim that everything will settle. This is not an argument that pain deserves its end. This is just the human act of forward moving, when the forward is the only thing we have left to spend. And I will spend it all on something worth the spending, and I will give the last of it to something that is real. Something worth believing is not found, it is constructed out of everything we carry and refuse to stop feeling. There is something worth believing in the marrow of the ache. There is something worth believing in the choices that we make. Something that the long years cannot flatten, something the surrendered cannot fake. There is something worth believing. It is everything we take into the break. I break in places that do not show from outside, in the careful hours when the composure holds. I break in the practice moments of the steady, in the places built to look like they will not fold. I break when the familiar comes without warning, when something small carries the weight of what I have lost. I break with a precision that feels almost embarrassing. a structural collapse without apparent cause. These are all the ways I break, that I have never spoken plainly. These are all the ways I break, when the enduring feels ungainly. The cracks beneath the composed exterior, the fault lines in the held together life. These are all the ways I break, and still arrive each morning for the fight. I break in the middle of ordinary moments, when the absence of someone fills what used to be full. I break in my capacity for longing, for the things that happened and for things that never bloomed. I am not asking to be fixed, I am asking to be seen inside the breaking. I am not requesting rescue, I am requesting presence in the making through. The making through is not the same as healing. It is the living inside what has not resolved, the carrying of what is unfinished and still tender, the continuing of the self while being actively dissolved. And in that dissolution, something honest always surfaces, something truer than the version I maintain, something that no amount of careful management can silence, something that insists on naming its own pain. These are all the ways I break, and I am done with hiding them. These are all the ways I break, where the honest life begins, not the cracks beneath the managed exterior, but the truth inside the held together lie. These are all the ways I break, and I'm grateful they are finally mine. The truth does not always announce itself in thunder. Sometimes it arrives in the softest possible way, in the pause before you answer, when I ask you something honest, in the particular quality of what you choose to say. I have known the truth delivered as a weapon, sharpened into something meant to cut and leave its mark. What you offer is a different kind of honesty, something warm enough to reach inside the dark. Soft as the truth between us, soft as everything you give without the asking, soft as the reaching underneath the formal distance, soft as the love I spent a lifetime never grasping. There is a difference between the honest and the brutal, between the truth that liberates and truth designed to wound. You hold the heart of facts with something close to mercy, and that mercy is the thing I never knew I needed to be moved. I have spent entire years defending against honesty, constructing versions of myself designed to hold. But the softness of the truth you bring dismantles every fortress and leaves me standing in the warmth instead of cold. This is not the tenderness of someone avoiding difficulty. This is the courage of someone who knows exactly what they carry, who chooses the honest word and wraps it in the warmth required to make the hardest things both bearable and necessary. So when you tell me what I need to hear and do not want to, I receive it in the spirit that you give. Soft as the truth, the most demanding kind of loving, soft as the truest way there is to live, soft as the truth between us, soft as what survives when all the posturing is gone, soft as the love that does not flinch from what it witnesses, soft as the place in you where I belong. I have exhausted every word for missing you and found them insufficient for the depth. There is a dimension underneath the longing that no vocabulary has addressed. It is not the ache of wanting your proximity, though that ache exists and lives below my breath. It is something structural, a reorganization of everything I understood before we met. This goes deeper than longing, deeper than the names I know, deeper than the feelings that the poets put to show. This is something without language. This is something under all. This goes deeper than longing. This is where the structures fall. I used to understand the architecture of my wanting, the floors and rooms of need mapped out and named. But loving you has taken down the blueprint and left me standing in a space I cannot frame. I do not miss you the way the familiar goes missing. I miss you the way something essential goes missing, the way a compass misses true north when it is broken, the way a note misses the chord it was written in. This is the kind of love that redefines the lover, that changes the coordinates of who you thought you were. I entered this with everything I owned about my feeling, and left with something richer and more blurred. Not confused, but widened past the comfortable. Not lost, but taken somewhere past the known. Not aching for the version of you absent, but reaching for the version not yet shown. This goes deeper than longing, deeper than the seasons know, deeper than the feelings that my honest words can show. This is something without measure. This is something past it all. This goes deeper than longing, and I surrender to the fall. I thought the weight would lighten with the passing seasons. The distance would deliver what reflection never could. But Distance only gave me cleaner angles from which to understand a love too honest to be understood. The grief of you is not the grief of simple endings. It is the grief of something real refusing to retreat. Something true enough to outlast its occasion, and heavy enough to stay beneath my feet, still carrying your weight. Not as a burden, but as proof. Still carrying your weight. Because the heaviest things are the truest. Everything I promised in the carrying, everything that loving asked me to uphold, still carrying your weight. The most honest thing about my soul. I do not carry you with bitterness or damage. I carry you the way a history is kept, with full acknowledgement of what it cost to own it, and full refusal to pretend it could be swept. I have tried to set it down in moments of exhaustion, and found that setting down felt more like loss. So I returned to carrying, not from obligation, but because your weight was something worth the cost. The load is not a punishment. The load is not a wound that will not close. The load is evidence of something worth the carrying, the clearest proof of something true I ever chose. Some things are not released because we choose to hold them. Some things are simply woven into who we are. The ones who shaped us most do not depart completely. They travel forward with us, weight and all this far, still carrying your weight. Not as a wound, but as a sign. Still carrying your weight, because the weight of you was mine. Everything I promised in the carrying, every ounce of what real love requires, still carrying your weight, long past where the ordinary feeling expires. Not the hunger that the body knows, not the ordinary want of something missing, This is a different animal entirely, a need that sharpens every time I am resisting. I have felt desire in its simpler forms, the wanting that arrives and can be sated. But this kind of hunger multiplies on contact. The more I give, the more I am ignited. I cannot feed this with more of the same offering. I cannot satisfy this with anything but you. This kind of hunger does not rest. It does not wait for invitation. This kind of hunger is the test of everything I claimed as my foundation. It strips the managed from the real. It leaves the raw where the polished used to be. This kind of hunger is the truest thing I feel, and it is entirely because of you. I am not afraid of it. I am altered by it, changed in every register of wanting. This kind of need does not politely knock. It enters with a force that feels like haunting. But it is not haunting, it is living, the most alive that anything has been. This kind of hunger is the proof of something vital, the best and most demanding thing I have seen. There are wants that settle into comfort, that find their level and remain. But this wants more with every satisfying, and makes the ordinary feel mundane. I cannot cure this with controlled distance. I cannot tame this with patience or with time. This kind of hunger was not there before you, and every ounce of it is gloriously mine. This kind of hunger does not quit. It does not dim with time or season. This kind of hunger is what is lit inside the deepest chamber of my reason. It burns beneath the surface of the steady. It moves below the managed and the known. This kind of hunger has no end or remedy except for you, and you alone. After everything that tried to make me smaller, after every season that reduced what I believed, there is still a part of me that did not surrender, a part that chose to stay when all the rest had grieved. I do not name it strength, that word is insufficient. It is something older than the will to carry on. It is something underneath the layers of the broken that was there before the building and remains when it is gone. I have fallen into silence that felt permanent. I have stood inside the kind of dark that has no edge. And every time I thought the last of me had finally gone quiet, I found something left, still standing on the ledge. Not heroically, just there. Not triumphantly, just present. The smallest irreducible remainder of whatever in me finds the future worth the investment. Something unbroken in me persists below the wreckage. Something unbroken in me refuses every reckless end. Not because the pain was not sufficient, but because the unbroken does not bend. Something unbroken in me lives beyond the wound, and I have questioned it, this stubborn remainder. Have asked it what it knows that I do not. Have demanded it explain its perseverance in the face of all the reasons I forgot. It does not answer with the language of the certain. It answers with the simple act of being still here. After all of it, the loss, the long undoing, something in me has not disappeared. Something unbroken in me was never gonna let me fall completely. Something unbroken in me refused to close the door. Not because the storm did not come fully, but because I still had something left worth living for. Something unbroken in me remains and will remain. There is a name I carry without speaking it, that lives inside the breath before I start. A name that rearranges all the quiet and lives below the surface of my heart. I have learned to move around it in conversation, to choose the pronoun where the name would go, to let the feeling live without its proper language, and carry what I feel without the need to show. The name I keep unsaid is the one that means the most. The name I keep unsaid is not forgotten, it is close. It lives in every pause that stretches longer, in every almost said that pulls me back. The name I keep unsaid is everything the said would never track. There is a particular kind of longing that refuses to be organized or tamed, that lives between the feeling and its expression, in the distance between silence and your name. I have built an architecture around the absence of it, constructed every sentence to avoid the sound, and in the avoidance I have given it more power than any spoken word could have found. To say it is, to claim it past the claiming. To say it is, to let the feeling stand. To say it is, to make the private public, to open what I've held inside a closed hand. And I am not ready for that kind of exposure, not because the feeling is not real, but because the saying makes it unretrievable and unsaid. It is the only thing I still can feel. The name I keep unsaid outlasts every word I choose instead. The name I keep unsaid is the truest thing inside my head. It is the shape of all the wanting, all the reaching in the wrong direction. The name I keep unsaid is my longest unresolved affection. There are moments when the feeling stops demanding, when the loud interior goes still, when the wanting and the wishing fall to silence, and the ache releases its relentless will. I used to fear that quiet, mistook it for desertion, thought the silence meant the love had run its course. But the quiet is not emptiness, it is the deepest fullness. The feeling finally settled at its source. I have known the love that lives in constant motion, that requires noise and urgency to prove. But what I carry now has learned a different frequency, one that does not need the turbulence to move. It moves in the unhurried and the steady, in the breath between the spoken and the known. When the heart goes quiet, it is not abandoning, it is arriving somewhere it can call its own. When the heart goes quiet, it is not the end of feeling. When the heart goes quiet, it is the deepest kind of healing. The silence underneath the long insistence is where the truest love has always lived. When the heart goes quiet, it is given what the noise could never give. I surrendered into this without a signal, without the ceremony of a choice. One moment I was managing the motion, the next, the motion simply lost its voice. And in its place, a stillness with a temperature, a warmth that does not need a word to land. When the heart goes quiet, it is not stopping, it is finally learning how to stand. Whoa, when the heart goes quiet, that is when I know it has arrived. When the heart goes quiet, that is when the love has truly survived. Not in the desperate and the reaching, not in the ache that fills the hollow space. When the heart goes quiet, it has finally found the face. There is a kind of wound that makes you more yourself, that breaks you open in the direction of the real. That takes the polished surface of the managed and splits it wide enough to finally feel. I wore my damage like an explanation once, a reason why the closeness had to stop. But somewhere in the carrying of all that beautiful damage, I learned that breaking open is not the same as drop. Beautiful damage, the kind that lets the light in. Beautiful damage, the crack along the seam. Beautiful damage, truest kind of living is not the perfect whole. but the broken in between. I did not choose the fractures that remain me, but I choose now to honor what they made. Beautiful damage, the most human thing about me. The price of loving fully, gladly paid. You see the places where I came apart at angles, where the structure failed and left its mark behind. And rather than retreating from the evidence, you moved toward it like something you were glad to find. There is a particular grace in being witnessed, in the scarred and unretouched and raw. You did not love me despite the beautiful damage. You loved me, damage, history and all. I have met the ones who wanted the unbroken version, who needed seamless surfaces and clean. I understand now what they were protecting, their own fear of what their damage might have been. But I have chosen the ones who stay for the complexity, who hold the layered thing without the need to fix. Beautiful damage is not something to be hidden. It is the deepest thing that any two people can share and mix. Beautiful damage, the kind that writes the story. Beautiful damage, the history in the skin. Beautiful damage, the pathway to the glory is through the broken places, not around, but in. I did not choose the fractures that remade me, but everything they made is finally mine. Beautiful damage, the most luminous thing about me, and the truest gift that came from loving's hardest line. There is a version of us that never got to happen, that lived in the space between intention and the act. We came so close to being something permanent, and what we almost were refuses to retract. Everything we almost were lives in me without a name. I do not mourn it with the clean grief of an ending. I mourn it with the grief of the unopened door. The grief of the potential that was never realized is different from the grief of losing what you had before. It is a longing pointed at a thing that did not exist, a reaching toward the shape of what was never made. And somehow that imagined thing feels more substantial than all the actual things that found me and then faded. Everything we almost were, lives in me without a name. You were a direction I was moving in before the turning. I was a possibility you chose not to pursue. And somewhere in the distance between choosing and not choosing, we left behind a version of the two of us that's true. Not true because it happened, true because it could have, true because the wanting was as real as wanting gets. Everything we almost were is more than what we settled for, and more than either one of us is ready to forget. The almost is the loneliest of human habitations, the place where nothing failed and nothing won, where the architecture of a future stood completely ready, and no one moved to say the words to get it done. I carry all the rooms of that unbuilt thing between us. Every door we should have opened, did not try. Everything we almost were is not a wound that I am nursing. It is the truest unanswered question of my life. Everything we almost were still lives without a name. Everything we almost were, the unlived and the unclaimed, the version of us nobody else will ever know existed, the love that never happened, still the realest, all the same. I will say the thing that costs the most to say, not because the saying makes it easier to bear, but because the truth has been residing in the silence too long to justify its continued hiding there. I confess without the comfort of an answer, without the guarantee of anything returned. I confess because the carrying became a weight more costly than the vulnerability I earned. I loved you in the way the unskilled love, with everything I had and no reserve, with the generosity of someone who had not yet learned that loving fully does not guarantee you what you deserve. I loved you past the point of self-protection, past the place where caution should have intervened. And I confess that I would make that same mistake again, because the loving was the truest thing I have ever been. Confessions without comfort, without the safety of a soft reply. Confessions without comfort, just the naked truth beneath the sky. This is what I felt, this is what it cost me, this is what it made of what I was. Confessions without comfort, given freely, because the truth demands it, simply because there is a kind of honesty that asks for nothing back, that offers the interior without the need for trade, that says the difficult because the difficult is true, not as leverage, not as pressure, just as what was made. I am not confessing to receive your absolution, I am confessing to release what I have held. The weight of unexpressed and honest feeling is the heaviest kind of self-contained hell. Confessions without comfort, without the promise of a hand to hold. Confession without comfort, just the stories finally told. This is where the feeling lived for far too long. This is what the silence was protecting. Confessions without comfort, raw and unadorned, the most honest act, the most self-respecting. I have lived the careful version, measured and withheld, I have held the feeling back until it lost its heat. I have chosen the protected over the exposed, and watched the most important things retreat. But something in the presence of you changed the calculation, made the cost of careful higher than the cost of fall, made the risk of loving fully feel like the only option, made the managed distance feel like the greatest loss of all. Too alive to be careful now, too far in to measure what it costs. Too alive to be careful now, too much gain to mourn what caution lost. This is the love that does not ask permission. This is the feeling that does not wait its turn. Too alive to be careful to ignite it, too in love to care about the burn. I am not reckless, I am finally accurate, finally aligned with what the feeling actually is. Not exaggerating, not diminishing the wanting, just standing in the full unedited version of this. There is a courage in the unguarded moment, in the choice to let the feeling be as large as it needs. I have spent enough of this life being manageable, and I am done reducing what my loving means. Let the careful ones stay in their calibrated distance. Let the measured ones protect what they refuse to spend. I have reached the place inside the loving where the only honest answer is to let it all descend. Not collapse, descent, the way a depth is reached. Not chaos, fullness, the way a real thing feels. Too alive to be careful is not irresponsible. It is the most honest thing a person in love reveals. Oh, too alive to be careful now, too certain of what this is to doubt. Too alive to be careful now, too much inside to hold it out. Oh, this is the love that does not need conditions. This is the wanting with nowhere left to run. Oh, too alive to be careful, too surrendered, too completely yours beneath this feeling sun. It does not begin with the removal of the hurt. It begins inside the hurt, somewhere beneath the weight. It is not the moment when the pain is finally over. It is the moment when the pain no longer feels like fate. I have waited for the healing to arrive as an arrival, as a clear demarcation, before and after drawn. But healing is not a destination or a threshold. It is a direction, and the direction is the dawn. I spent long seasons asking what the healing looked like, expecting it to feel unlike the living of the womb. But the healing wore the same clothes as the morning and arrived inside the ordinary, not immune. It arrived in the continued choosing of the forward, in the refusal to make permanent a pain, in the daily act of treating what was broken with the patience of the long and gentle rain. Where healing begins is not at the ending of the ache. Where healing begins is inside the ache awake. It is the turning of the face toward what is living. It is the breathing of the breath that is still there. Where healing begins is the moment you decide the self is worth the care. I am not healed, I am healing, and healing is the verb, not the arrival. I am not fixed, I am becoming, and becoming is the whole of this survival. Every morning that I choose to move towards something, every choice to hold the broken with a gentle hand, every refusal to abandon what was wounded in me, is the act of healing more than I understand. Where healing begins is in the smallest honest act. Where healing begins is in the commitment to come back. Back to the self that was worth the loving. Back to the life that was worth the fight. Where healing begins is in the turning toward the light. Not the end of the aching, but the changing of its meaning. Not the silence of the womb, but its release. Where healing begins is wherever you decide to start, and that beginning is already your peace.